Democratic strategist Chuck Roja and communications consultant Maura Gillespie, who has served as an advisor to Republican House members, including former House Speaker John Boehner. Good to have you both with us. I want to start first with you, Maura, because the Republicans said this speech would be about unity. It wasn't completely. They said that Trump wouldn't mention Biden. He did. They said that this would be a new dawn for Donald. I mean, the question is, was it? How is this speech being received by Republicans?
It's very long. As you mentioned, he broke his own record for longest acceptance speech at the RNC convention. But I think for myself, I was hopeful to hear that he had completely redone the speech and really wanted to focus on unity. And I thought it was going to be something where he would bring in those voters, like myself, who are still Republicans, but don't feel as though the tone and the rhetoric is reflective of what we stand for. And a lot of the isolationist, messaging is not what we stand for as a party that I subscribe to. And so, 15 minutes in, I'm still kind of waiting for, this tone that seemed to be in line with what I was told was going to happen. And then, of course, it switched. And I was reminded again of what the Trump campaign style has typically been. I think it was a real missed opportunity for the president, the former president, to reach across to voters and to really be the big tent party, as we are and have purported to be. So I found it to be a real missed opportunity, and again, way too long. I don't know that this brings anybody into the fold, just as though I don't believe it really brings anybody into the fold with its vice president pick. I think that Donald Trump knows he has this election more or less in the bag and kind of doesn't seem to care too much to branch out and to reach across to people like myself and to other voters in the party who feel lost.
Yeah. And I want to ask you, Chuck, about how this speech is being received also by the Democrats. And I want to just highlight some of the newspaper articles reviewing this speech. We saw the New York Times say that this speech started solemn, turned rambling, and showcased his all-encompassing power over his party. The Washington Post said the speech wrapped a fresh gesture towards unity around his usual dark view of American decline and loathing for political opponents and immigrants. Chuck, as CNN political commentator Van Jones said, Trump dodged a bullet on Saturday, and the Democrats dodged a bullet last night, because it did seem like Trump had the whole world in his hands after that assassination attempt. He could have just stuck to script, but it was the same old Trump. Is that good news for the Democrats?
That's what I'm hearing from people. And, I've been to every convention for the last 30 years on the Democratic side. I understand the production, and you get an opportunity, and Mara knows this, and I think she was speaking to it, is that you get an opportunity to talk to all of America. Every news channel will cut to him. It was his first big speech. He had an opportunity to show a softer side, and I'll give him credit. In the beginning, he did. He was reading from the teleprompter, even though he seemed very subdued. Only after about 16 minutes did he went back into the same Donald Trump that we all knew. But he had a unique opportunity to put this whole race to bed last night if he could have done it in a different way, because he may not get the opportunity with every camera on him, all the attention on him, to do that again. He's going to Michigan with JD today. We'll see what the speeches are like there. But I think we're going to revert back to the same old, same old. And I think that's what keeps making this race, anybody's ball game. I think there's a lot of turmoil going on within my own party. I think there was a lot of turmoil going on within different parts of the Republican Party. But conventions are different. Democrats were prepared for Republicans to come out of this with a bump, just like Democrats will come out of their convention with a bump. And then we'll go back to Labor Day and fighting this thing out till Election Day.
Yeah, and where I want to ask you about the lies and the falsehoods that were in that speech. It had our fact checkers working overtime, at least 20 they counted. He said we're experiencing the worst inflation the US has ever seen, which is not even close to true. He mentioned lies with regards to immigration, in regards to violent crime. I just want to play some sound on crime.
Our crime rate is going up while crime statistics all over the world are going down.
I mean, violent crime in the US is significantly down. It's lower than what it was when he was in office. Why does he feel the need to lie?
I can't speak to why he feels the need to lie. I think, and again, I see this as he's playing to the 2016 voters that he was able to get to the ballot box, right? I mean, there are people in the Republican Party now that have never been politically active before. And they are because they believe in Donald Trump and they believe what he tells them. And so he knows, and we're talking about this moment that he had, the whole world in his hand, essentially. And he knows he has it and floats these theories, and he still refuses to acknowledge the results of the 2020 election and things of that nature because he knows it excites those 2016 voters that he galvanized in the first place. And so he's really speaking to them. And at Chuck's point, what we're talking about here is that there was an opportunity to speak to the broader coalition of Republicans, the broader nation, truly the world essentially is watching. And he, again, chose to focus on just those base voters and to share with them things that he knows will galvanize them. It's an unfortunate use of the power that he really has and the podium that he had to use. And instead of doing it in a way that was respectful and opening up to others, he kept it really just in the MAGA world.
Yeah, exactly. And Chuck, to you on Biden's future.